In this video we are going to discuss the photo filled title project. I do want to remind you that this Word document that you're looking at right now is also located in our folder, the same place that you found this video. So if you'd rather follow step-by-step instructions rather than a video, you are more than welcome to use this 3-page document and follow these steps if you would rather do that. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and open up Photoshop and find an image that you would like to use for this photo filled title. Now whatever you use for the picture, you're going to want the text to relate to the picture. So for example, I'm using a Chevy Bel Air and my text is Chevrolet. So depending on what your interests are, your hobby, or what the image is that you're going to use is going to determine the text that you'll use for that for this project. So after you've gone ahead and found an image and saved it, make sure that the quality of the image is also good. Don't use a blurry image or something that's super tiny, super hard to see, because that's just going to bring down the quality of this entire project. So find a good image that you want to use. After you've gone ahead and saved that image, just go ahead and do a file open and open that picture. Now it doesn't have to be black and white. Mine just happens to be black and white. It can be a color image. So whatever you'd like to use will work. So after you've gone ahead and opened your image, we're going to add a text box. So I'm going to go over here to the text box tool, and I'm going to drag out a nice big text box in about the same area that I would like the text to go for this project. So when you first create this text box, you can grab the handles here, and if you just grab the handles, you can resize it and get the text in about the area that you want it and about the size that you want it. So once you get that box set up to where you want your text in the area you want it to go in, then you can start to begin to typing your text. The other thing you're going to want to make sure that you do is pick a good font. This is a key factor in creating this project. You need a nice big bold font. I've chosen the Poplar STD font because it's nice and big and it allows that picture to come through the letters and it'll be easy to see. So I'm going to go ahead and just type in Chevy here. And if I can type. So you'll notice my font's a little bit too big. I'm going to click and drag this box out so I can see the rest of my text. And then what I'm going to do is just move this and kind of position it where I'd like it to be. And then I'm going to do a Control T on the keyboard to transform. And I'm going to just click and readjust this font. I'm going to stretch it a little bit this way. And about right there. I'm going to make it a little bit taller. So wherever you see white is where the image is going to come through. I'll move it a little bit over here. Once you're done with the font and you have what you would like to use, you can go ahead and hit the commit button up here, this check mark. And now my text is good to go. Next, you will want to go ahead and create a new layer and move that layer underneath the text layer. If your original layer was locked, you're going to want to unlock that layer and then rename it and give it a nice name, like here's my Chevy photo. So I am going to go ahead, and there's two ways I can do this. I can Control J to duplicate the layer, or I can right click and choose duplicate. Either way works. I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut Control J, and then I'm going to move that copy above all of the other layers to the top. Then what we'll do is go ahead and right click the copy and choose create clipping mask. As soon as you do that, you'll know that it's a clipping mask by this little arrow that's pointing down. So what's going to happen is this picture will be clipped inside of this text. That's what a clipping mask does. It clips whatever's underneath it and it'll clip into that text. Make sure that layer 1 is above the Chevy photo right here. And the next thing we're going to do is click on layer 1. Now we could do two things here. We could go ahead and use the paint bucket and paint this layer black, but I'm going to show you another quick tool or keyboard shortcut that you could use. Whatever color you have in the foreground here is the color that's going to be used, so we want black, so make sure that yours is black. And the keyboard shortcut to fill layer 1 with black, instead of even going to the paint bucket, is pressing Alt and backspace, and that'll fill that layer with whatever color is in the foreground. So if you notice right away, the Chevy photo, the copy that I made, is being clipped into the text that I made, and the layer 1, which I'm going to rename as black background, is underneath all of that. This copy is just an extra copy just in case. I could just turn that off and actually lock it, or I'm sorry, just leave it turned off, and then you'll have your picture. Now what you can do is still edit this picture. So with the text, if you want to still edit the text, you can click on it, Control T, and you could still edit the text to show more of the picture, less of the picture, squeeze it in this way. Okay, so you can go ahead and edit that text still as well. Once you're done with the transformation, just hit the check mark, and then you're done transforming that text. The other option that you could have with the text is if you double click on the T here, and then if you notice up here there's a text warp. So you can do a text warp if you'd like, and pick a shape for the text to follow. I'm going to try arc lower, and then that text will kind of create that warp, and you can adjust the bend here if you'd also like to do that to make it bend a little bit more and go maybe more with the shape of the car in the front or whatever image that you're using, and you can bend it that way. And I can still go into the Control T and still edit this text if I wanted to by shrinking it, making it bigger, whatever you'd like to do. The other thing that you may want to do to the text is go ahead and add in some effects like a glow or something, because I'm losing the T a little bit here and the text isn't as distinguished as I'd like it to be. So if you double click in the blue area on that text layer, you can go into the styles for it, and maybe you want an outer glow. So here, if you notice, now that T is more prominent along with the entire text is popping a little bit more. So you can check it and then go into that actual outer glow style. You can adjust the blend mode options that you have for it. You can give it some noise, maybe a little grittiness along the edge if you wanted to, like that. You can also change the size if you'd wanted to, the spread. So there's a bunch of different sliders, and you can try all these different styles with that. The other thing that you could do, you don't have to use a black background. You could use a different color background. You can also, if you'd like to try this, again, you can still move the text, but what you might want to think about doing is trying to clip it, maybe some separate images into different parts of the text as a follow-up project after you've done this. Try that maybe. But once you're done with this, turn this project in. Make sure you have an author down here, so by so and so. So make another text layer, and then go ahead and finish this project up, turn it in, and then if you'd like to, like I said, try and maybe clip in separate images into certain letters to create multiple pictures throughout the text.